We're calling this video tutorial of the projection oscillator charts Catching Falling Knives. And the reason for that is that we're going to look at a couple stocks in the oil related sector. But first we're going to look at USO and XOP, the crude oil and the production ETF. And the reason we call it falling knives is because we're in an obvious downtrend, very sharp, in USO. We've reached the oversold level, extreme oversold, in both the unbalanced stochastic RSI and the projection oscillator, and really hasn't started to make a bounce out yet. The only reason we'd even entertain a falling knives attempt is that the lower time frame, the 2-hour, is bullish, has turned into a buy, even though the higher time frame, which is the weekly, remains in a sell. And that's what these two little traffic lights indicate. The top one represents the higher time frame, because we're looking at a daily chart that would be weekly, and the lower time frame would be the 2-hour. So we're figuring that there's a good possibility, or a reasonable possibility at least, that the 1021 low in the USO will hold. Now let's flip on to the XOP, which is the oil producers ETF, and you'll see that it's in a fairly similar situation, and that we've had a downtrend. It's on a true strength index sell still, but if we put this in the candle position, we can see that we had a doji low, and if we put a little price moniker on that, we can see that we get 34.73 is pretty close to current price, and that's where the possibility of catching the falling knife in the XOP has gone wrong. But we can see that we've had a bull reversal from an oversold condition on the 8, and that the projection oscillator has climbed out above zero. So there's a fairly good chance that 34.73 is a daily swing low in the XOP. And as with the USO, the upper time frame is on a sell, but the lower time frame is on a buy. So we just scanned our oil related list and picked up a couple stocks, and we went long both of these stocks. SN is Sanchez Energy, and we can see same situation on the traffic lights. The weekly is still on a sell, but the 2-hour is on a buy. We had a doji bottom at 732, so that's our clear get out point. And if we do reach an overbought condition in this, if it does get that high, we're anticipating it might get back up to this level up here. No guarantees, of course. 970, but that would be a decent, or a fairly decent, advance in a few days, if that's what it takes. And the other one we took a look at very closely was KOS. And KOS was a little more attractive an hour ago, but KOS is deep oversold in the 8, but the projection oscillator has broken out, and the 2-hour is on a buy. So based partly on the strength of XOP, the producers ETF, and a few other stocks that we looked at in this segment, that we took a little flyer on KOS also. And we can see that the get out point is 5/62. If this is not the daily swing low, then there isn't much for this to move down. So in any case, assuming there's no major gaps against us, tomorrow at the opening, that we might be in a good position to catch a small run up. So don't usually try and catch falling knives, but wanted to demonstrate the projection oscillator again and just give a couple more examples of how it can be used.